just moved maybe, or brand new to hunting, or maybe your old spot got overran with new people, don't worry about it, we got you. And by we, I mean me. I'm gonna show you exactly how to find mule deer no matter where you're at. Let's get right into it. All right, welcome back. This is part dos of the How to Find Mule Deer Anywhere series using Go Hunt and Google Earth, the combo. So this video is gonna be focused on how to use the terrain analysis, at least how I use it, and just a bunch of other tools to finalize a spot that I want to go scout or hunt. Only thing different in this video is we're just in a new spot, random new spot, and everything's already set up the way we set it up in the first video. If you haven't seen the first video, go click on that little thing, watch that first, then watch this one. So let's go from the camera to the computer and get right into it. Okay, did tiny bit of pre-work just so I don't waste too much of your time, but I'm just gonna show you how I use these extra features, how to get in, how to get out, things I'm looking for specifically. So I'm not trying to hide where we're at, but if we zoom in right here, actually, you know what, now that I say this, I mean, it doesn't matter, deer everywhere. Okay, so I was looking at these mountains and I was like, it looks pretty good. And what looks pretty good to me is when you zoom in, there's enough open spots and enough cover, if you will, for the deer. So if we do a copy and paste, which I already did, this is generally the spot we're looking at, okay? I'm looking at all this. Looks like there's a little creek that runs through here, thus the greener trees. Yet again, this is all my opinion. I could be completely wrong about this, but it looks like we have some water that may run through here, just based on how it's cut out. All right, so this is what Google Earth shows me. This is the spot we'd be glassing from. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump on Go Hunt just to make sure the area is good. All right, National Forest looks good. Looks like we do have a couple drainages running through here. I'm gonna load a couple of these points I had already, just so we could see where we are working. All right, so here's my glassing point. Looks pretty good. So the first thing I'm gonna use now is we're gonna use terrain analysis. So this is gonna give me which way the slope faces. So historically, from what I've learned, is that southern facing ridges carry more deer and provide better food. What I've read, take it with a grain of salt, because deer are literally everywhere. If it gets really, really hot, they'll transition over to the northern facing slopes. So for this, glassing in the morning, I want to be looking at a southern facing slope. So as you see right here with this terrain analysis mode, all these highlighted in green are the southern facing slopes. So if I zoom in here and I figure out how to do this, because I always forget, pan this, oh, we're in 2D mode, that's why. I pan this, go to 3D mode, I'll be able to see which ridges are southern facing and what I could see from my glassing spot. All right, let's give it a second to load. Hopefully it loads, but this is what we're looking at. All right, so I'm in here and I could view all of this, and it looks like there's a trail that runs through. Not too worried about the trail, honestly. And there you go. So from my glassing point, I'll be able to look into most of these. All right, perfect. And then additionally on here, it has your degree of slope. I'm not sure what deer preferably like. I know elk like around this range, but even if I go to 25, this entire mountain is under a 35-degree incline, so pretty good about it. Or pretty good about it, what am I saying? It's pretty steep if I do find a deer. And the good thing about this spot too is if I do find a deer in here, I'll be able to go up and around. There's a trail, it looks like, that actually goes to the top, and I'll have a good way to drop in. Right? Typically I wouldn't want to be so close to trails, but in my experience it really doesn't matter. Deer use the trail as well, so unless it's an extremely busy type of hike, I would have to do a little more research on it. Really not too worried about it. Right, so this is the terrain analysis. This is how I do it. If I wanted to look for a northern facing spot, I would just click these buttons, just switch it up, and it'll show me the northern facing ridges. So I know where they may be in the shade. So if I'm not seeing any deer in the morning and the sun starts to shift, I could move my body, or I could stay where I'm at, and I could look towards these right here. Okay, anything that's in green. Glass back, I could go up top, glass in here, and so on and so forth, right? Make sure you guys don't get stuck in one spot.
just for the entire day, but you got to put a little bit of work in to make sure you're verifying if deer are or aren't there. Okay, we're gonna close this. There's a new feature that Go Hunt just came out with. It's called historical imagery. I'll show you what it looks like if you haven't seen it. I don't put too much weight into it. I need to be in 2D mode, but it pretty much just shows you what the area you're looking at has looked like through time. So if we zoom in, let's see if there are any images of water actually flowing through here. So from what I've heard, you want to zoom in as much as possible. All right, so no data. Cool, no data. Like I said, it's a new feature. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so what we're looking at, where the crosshair is from September 21st, 2021. Okay. June. Okay, so this is November. As you see, the image is changing. All right, looks like they got a lot of rain that year. So this is March 23rd. And since I'll be hunting in September, October, this is what I want to look at. So this image is roughly what I should be seeing from 2018. Yet again, I'm still figuring out how to use this. I don't know if this plays a big toll in California per se, but yeah. Okay, now with that out the way, we need to find out how we're gonna get in here. So as you see, we're on a trail. Zoom in here, create an access point. This is what I did because it looks like this is a truck trail or a road, and then this is a walking trail. So this is how I'm gonna get to my glassing spot. Then we need to just backtrack from there and see how we can get in. Okay, local, all right, this looks like, is this a road? All right, this looks like a road you could drive, that's good. That's one way, you just gotta check. So when you zoom in, just make sure you zoom in enough to where, oh, this looks like another way in. Van Tassel Mountain Way, I don't know what MTW is, but coming over here, zoom in, just find where a road may or may not take you and if it's drivable. And you won't know until you get out there, but this looks like a pretty drivable road, honestly. And just backtrack and figure it out. So if I go Fish Canyon Road and make a left onto Van Tassel Mountain Way, looks like that'll take me all the way through. So it'll take me all the way through to my access point. Yep. Van Tassel Ridge. If not, just do a little bit more walking, but that looks wide enough where I could drive it, based on this at least. So there you go. And then lastly, there's this feature right, oh, you have to go to 3D mode. Go back to 3D mode. Not sure what's not supported. Oh, I'm on this imagery thing. That. Let's go to 3D mode. And this little thing right here, this is your elevation gain and drop, and it's another way to measure the distance, right? So we click on this, box pops up. We're gonna start from here. We're just gonna start dropping some points just to get a general idea of how far this is gonna be to our access point or to our glassing spot. Let's go here. Gonna hit done. Drop this. So this is telling me roughly it's a 1.2 nautical miles, Jesus, got the Navy in my head. 1.2 miles from the access point to walk out here on this trailhead. And it looks like I will be starting higher and dropping lower. So it looks like I'm starting at 3,200 and going all the way down to 2,840-ish, right? So it looks like I'm gaining. Doesn't make sense, I should be losing, yeah. I'm losing this much. Max slope will be 44.5. Jesus, that's steep. And dropping 42. But my average is right here. All right, just another little feature you could use. So honestly, this looks like a pretty good spot. I would do a little bit more research. I'd jump on Google. I would Google this trailhead. That's another thing we would do. I would bounce around a little bit, look for different glassing points like we did. Get out of here, we're gonna hit this X. And then, I don't know, it did this the last time, and I don't know why. Let's open up something else, it should go. There you go. All right, but it looks pretty good. And don't forget, in a topo mode, you can see the springs a little bit better, or the streams where they would run. And here's our trail, goes all the way through. But like I previously stated, not to worry about it. But if you want to get away, it looks like you can get away. It's like a pretty good area. So that's pretty much how I would go about finding deer, or at least a good glassing spot. There would be a little bit more research on my end as far as, like, I would Google that trail, I would YouTube that trail just to see if anyone has made videos of it, and to see what it actually looks like, because the imagery on Google Earth and GoHunt, as good as they are, may not be an accurate representation of what it actually looks like. So the next part of this series is we're gonna take everything I taught you, we're gonna put it into place, and we're gonna go out into the field and actually try to find some deer using those methods. So stay tuned for that video. Should be released within the next couple days, but until then, happy hunting, and I'll see you guys soon.